Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe Potter, and this is the Vintage Underground. Thought I'd catch you up with where I'm at on the heater AC on the Jag coupe build. Spending a lot of time on this one because it's kind of a collection of compromises with the structure in the car now and other limitations of how I want the dash to look. I don't have a lot of space. At one point I was going to put the AC in the rear for that reason. Not a great solution, and I think I've got it now to where I can do it up front. But it's tight. These were tight before. The original air boxes on these are pretty compact and they're not particularly efficient at getting air moving through them. So I'm trying to avoid that. So here's what I've got so far, and it's really a matter of available space. You have to plot out what you've got for space and then see what you can fit in it. So see, this drops there down behind the structure here that we've added, presents back behind here and out this far, which it kind of looks like it protrudes out here a little bit, but it's actually not. I mean, the dash is actually out here. It's a little bit misrepresentative of what's actually here. It's a little deceiving. So anyway, that's the space I have to work with. And part of this is being limited by, I want to keep the dash shallow. I'm not using the original dash, which is very flat across. I'm going to try to do a recessed shape, so I want that space. All right, so here's the available space. That's what I have to work with. I've got a collection now of evaporators and heater cores to try and fit. This is one of 3 or 4 evaporators we've collected up over the years, and several heater cores for doing this kind of stuff. But this is the one I'm working with on this one. I've got it to where it slides into place right tight. I'll redo these lines. This angle doesn't work for me. This is the front of the car, and they're going to need to go this way. Anyway, I'll change those, but it's the evaporator core that's important. So that's secure, and it's separated the inlet air from the outlet air, and you can see that already this is not a tremendous amount of space on either side of this. That was true of the original boxes, heater boxes on these Series 2 Jag as well. So that's what I have to work with. The other side is heater core, and I've had several runs at this. So I'm limited here by this length. I cannot go any wider. This is the heater core I wanted to use, but I run out of space by just a bit. So this one is shorter, and it works just gives me just a 1/4 inch or less there, and now we'll have to build structure in here to isolate the flow through this heater core into this plenum. Normally in a heater box like this, the controls of airflow will be in there as well, and this is true of the original heater box on a Jag, and that's true on these Series 2 Jags. The thing that does is it limits airflow. When you make turns and dampers and changes like that, it limits the airflow or restricts it. I don't have a lot of room. I have very little room to do any damper work in here, especially in this format. If I had more room this way, I would have a lot more options to do dampers. And the dampers are decisions. The decisions as to whether it goes to the floor, to the screen, or to the fascia. And those decisions are typically made inside the box. Oh, I've got the original heater box here, and you can see the size of it is similar. You can see the same. They're using the same contour I did to hug it up against the scuttle. This one won't work because of the limits of the structure we've put in it. But when you get to looking at this thing, it's really compromised in the airflow, and they pushed through these with pretty heavy fans from both sides. I think to overcome that. These were not great. The Series 1s were better. The controls on these are terrible, but it's got a lot of dampers and whatnot to make things happen. It's a viable way to do it, but it's not how I'm going to do it. Because I'm running this car on a Haltech PDU, all the electrical inputs come into the PDU that we can control with programming, and the computer will run it. So I have a lot of I/O inputs and outputs that I can use to control things. So instead of putting ductwork and dampers internally in this and causing airflow restrictions, I'm going to dump everything into the plenum from either the heater core or the evaporator. And then from there, I will have inline dampers that I can control via outputs from the PDU and tell it, open the damper for the screen, open the damper for the fascia, open the damper for the floor. These are small little solid state devices that actuate as a damper. Really cool, clever, very small. So it's just kind of one of those modern technology things that helps me avoid a really constricted thing. So now I can maximize my airflow through here, and I actually have much greater control of the airflow once it comes out, because now I can not only say I want it to go to the fascia or the screen or the floor, I can pick individual ports and make it do whatever I want. Is that necessary? I don't know, probably not, but it's kind of an example of the level of control that you can ascertain with technology now. So that's where I'm at with that. As far as the inlet air goes, I'm not able to use the original Jag blower fans, and so I tried, but the cage is in the way, and it causes a problem. So same thing, I'm going to use different fans that will pressurize the back of the plenum here from either side. And if you think about the airflow, if I'm pushing from two different sides, then if I'm blowing in the heater side, it could short circuit and go right back out the evaporator side. So also out here, as a point of control, I need to have the ability to close the air off on this side or that side. So I need to be able to blow air and pressurize, but I also need to be able to shut it off, because this box will be separated internally. The evaporator will be walled off from the heater, so either side of the box will be either heat or evaporator for AC. So those will be physically separated in here, but they'll also have to be separated on this side, the plenum side, essentially by available airflow. So that is coming. These holes are 2-inch, and the reason I did that is because on Jaguar E-types, Series 1, Series 2 E-types, there are these cool little 2-inch 90-degree rubber elbows that pop into a thin wall that are really cool, and they're Jag, so I'm going to use those, and those will direct my airflow towards in this case, the dampers. So that's where we're at on that. This will be evolving. I still got to build the walls. I still got to mount the heater core on this side and a bunch of other work, and then figure out how to secure it to the firewall. And that's where I'm at on this car. One of many projects of sorting things out, and getting things mounted, and making things functional. It just takes a ton of hours to do this stuff. I do appreciate you guys watching. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.